Hello everybody, welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name is Deshaun and today I am here to talk about the recent rumor that Vincent D'onofrio's Wilson Fisk Kingpin will be in HawkEye. You got people who not only saying he'll be in HawkEye, got people saying he'll be in HawkEye, and they got it down to the exact episode he will be in. He'll be in episode 5 of HawkEye. This is to go along with all these rumors that Jessica Jones, and like really, the Kingpin's gonna get the headline of this, but really, I just want to talk about these rumors of all these Netflix characters in general. First of all, there has been rumors and suggestions for weeks now, for months, that Daredevil, Charlie Cox will come back to play Daredevil in Homecoming, not Far From Home, in No Way Home. That he will be in No Way Home as Daredevil. There are rumors he might be in She-Hulk. There are all kinds of things that you keep hearing. There are rumors he might be in the Echo movie, in the Echo spinoff show that hasn't even been confirmed. That hasn't even actually been confirmed yet. There are all of these rumors about certain things that are supposed to happen, and certain characters from the Netflix universe. There's been rumors that Jessica Jones will appear in She-Hulk. There's rumors that they want to introduce Jessica Jones and other things. There are rumors that they want to introduce a new Iron Fist in Shang-Chi. Like, there's all of these rumors, and of course there are rumors, and now there are rumors that Kingpin will be in HawkEye, and so that he could show up and get No Way Home. And like, right now, Charlie Cox's Daredevil has been rumored to be in everything. Goddamn comic book cast, they just keep going. Like, comic book cast every day, because I follow those guys just every freaking day. Every day, it's, oh, Daredevil's going to be in this. Charlie Cox's Daredevil's going to be in this. Breaking news, he's going to be in this too. And I'm just like, the more I hear about this stuff, the more in my mind I go, I don't believe this. You know why I don't believe this? It's because I don't, like... Step outside of your bubble for a second. Once you step outside of your bubble, you realize that no one actually gives a shit about the Netflix Marvel shows. Like, the wider audiences. Those shows weren't as big of a hit on Netflix as, say, Stranger Things or The Witcher. Those shows were big for the time, but those aren't, you know, like we as comic book fans appreciate those shows, but those shows weren't racking up any awards. I mean, let's look at WandaVision. WandaVision just got 24 Emmy nominations. I don't know if Daredevil had 24 Emmy nominations in its entire run. I'm not even sure. I know ain't nobody talking about it. The only people who really care about those shows are us comic book fans, are us superhero fans. But most people don't. And I just couldn't, and in my mind, I've been trying to wrap my mind around this idea that, like, there's the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fans, and all these fans that have this wild idea that Kevin Feige is like, this'll be the big surprise, this'll be the big shocker. Yes, Kevin Feige's big surprise shocker for HawkEye is that he took a Daredevil character, he took Wilson Fisk Daredevil off of a show that got canceled that at this point, not a lot of people even remember except us comic book fans, because you really don't hear anyone talking about Daredevil. Daredevil's not living in the same breath with, like, Breaking Bad, The Sopranos and stuff where people reference them. No one's talking about it. The only reason we're even bringing up Daredevil, Netflix Daredevil, is because we think it's gonna show back up. We think Charlie Cox is gonna show back up in something, but no one else is really talking about it. And it's one of those things where, when I take a step outside of my comic book bubble, outside of the bubble of things that I've seen, outside of the bubble of content that I digest, I love Netflix Daredevil. Loved all 3 seasons. But once I take a step outside of that, you quickly realize that not only did that end a long time ago, and no normal person, no ordinary person who's not on Twitter all the time or who is in this world who is even talking about Daredevil, but the actual popularity of it when it was at its peak was only amongst us fans, because it was never at the same scale as, like, the MCU stuff. Like, right now, it just feels like it'd be a step backwards to just go, like, because fans? And, like, which fans are we talking about? How many fans are we talking about? And to me personally, I would be willing to believe this Wilson Fisk rumor. I'd be willing to believe it a bit more if Vincent D'onofrio, if, like, Kevin Feige had ahead of time said Vincent D'onofrio's returning as the Kingpin. Because then I would have been like, okay, so he has a plan. He's got him returning as a Kingpin. He's hyping up Hawkeye with this big, reveal that Wilson Fisk is coming back that Vincent D'onofrio is coming back to play the Kingpin. But the fact that he hasn't done that, the fact that Vincent D'onofrio has spent the last couple months just nonstop tweeting about returning as Kingpin, which, I don't know if you know this, HawkEye finished filming months ago. So unless they just randomly called Vincent D'onofrio to come back for reshoots and they were like, hey, let's do this, it doesn't really make a lick of sense. Because, like I said, HawkEye actually finished filming a month or two ago. Now it's going to come back for reshoots, so, they're going to come back and do that. But, otherwise, we've heard about the Vincent D'onofrio thing a while ago. But like I said, the more and more rumors I hear about these characters, the less I believe it. Like, when the initial Daredevil thing came out, I started to believe it. I went, okay, well, he's probably not playing the actual Daredevil from the Netflix show. They're just bringing him back to recast. But the more and more I hear about shit like that, about the Christian Ritter coming back and all this stuff, the more and more I hear about it, the less and less I believe it. These characters just don't seem big enough for all this smoke and mirror. I think that's my smoking gun on this entire situation. These characters and these actors are not big enough for the smoke and mirrors. Oh, guess who's here? They're not big enough for that. They're just Netflix actors, dude. Like if you wanted to bring them back, they would have put that in the forefront. These characters aren't big enough for that. Well, maybe Daredevil is and Kingpin is, but the actors, to be smoke and mirror with the actors, I don't think that the Feige would do that. It doesn't make any business sense because if you do think there is something to gain from bringing these actors back, you want to put that in the forefront so that people would come on board, so that the people who like those shows would come on board. It just doesn't make any business sense to be so smoke and mirrors about it, because like I said, these characters aren't big enough to be smoke and mirrors about it. Honest to God, Wesley Snipes coming back to play Blade would be a bigger deal than Vincent D'onofrio and Charlie Cox coming back to play their roles, because Wesley Snipes was in a big movie that was a massive influencer on the entire comic book genre, and it was one of the most iconic roles he ever played, and everyone knows that movie. So yeah, him coming back to play Blade, that would be smoke and mirrors. Like that would be something shocking. That would be smoke and mirrors. But Charlie Cox and Vincent D'onofrio coming back to play Kingpin and Daredevil, okay. I'm gonna just let you know, half the audience is not gonna get it. Like for instance, with the rumors with Spider-Man Far From Home with Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, a lot of the audience is gonna get it because those are huge movies that I've shown on TV and on TNT and all these different channels multiple times, all the time, around the clock, or every year. Audiences will understand that, these are characters from other movies. Like, there'll be people who grew up with those old Spider-Man movies, like, oh, it's Tobey again. Like, it'll click into the wider audience's mind that this is weird because these characters aren't supposed to be here. But Vincent D'onofrio and Charlie Cox as Daredevil and Kingpin, like I said, that might get us, people who love those shows, people who watch those shows. But, they're not that fucking big of a deal. At least they're not big enough of a deal for there to be smoke and mirrors behind it, for it to be an entire build-up of a season to Vincent D'onofrio's Kingpin. Like, no. I don't believe this. I could be wrong. You know what? If I'm wrong, it's one of those situations that even if I'm wrong, I'm okay with, because I love Vincent D'onofrio as Kingpin and I love Charlie Cox as Daredevil. It's just the more I hear about it, the logic in me is going, this doesn't make any sense. Because when I take a step, which we have a hard time doing, us as comic book fans, we have a hard time taking a step outside of our world, outside of our bubble of content and comic book stuff and nerdy stuff. But when I take a step outside of that bubble, ain't nobody talking about Daredevil other than us. And other than us and comic Twitter, don't nobody really know, sure, we remember those characters, but those shows were acclaimed, but they weren't critically acclaimed. I'll probably say WandaVision is technically more critically acclaimed than all those Netflix shows, technically. So it's just one of those things where I'm like, if it was true, if Feige was really bringing those characters back, they're not big enough deal for all this smoke and mirrors, for all this hype up, this smoke show and all that. They're not big enough for that. So if they were coming back, I feel like Feige would have said something about that up front. He would have announced that off the bat. We will see, if they're coming back, if Wilson Fisk Kingpin is gonna be in HawkEye, we will see him in the first trailer. I feel like that would have been a big deal. They would have built that up as a much bigger deal because they never actually announced. I don't think they even announced a villain for HawkEye, and I feel like they would have led with Vincent D'onofrio coming back as Wilson Fisk. Like I said. That's just what makes me doubt this. I know some people are excited about this. Some people really want to believe this, so they're pushing hard for it. They're pushing like it's gonna happen because they want to believe it so much. It's the same thing with the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. people who really want Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to be canon to the MCU, but it's not, but they really want it so bad that they're just like, I don't care what logic states. Fuck logic altogether. This is what's happening. But you know what? Like I said, either way, I'm good. I'm happy either way. It's just I have my doubts, and I just want to put that out there because so many people right now there's so many people right now posting this stuff up as if it's fact, as if this is gonna happen, and like they're coming with all these theories and stuff, and it's like, bruh. Like, there's so many contradictory reasons to why this wouldn't be happening that you can't just ignore it because you want it to happen. But either way, like I said, I'm okay. Thank you guys for joining the Common Game Movie Show. Please remember to like, subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.